Who do you think is a top free agent? Who don't you? Age, money, production, all of that. Bledsoe puts a rough draft, so to speak, together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you the same thing here. We're going to go on a scale of 5. And I'm going to ask you what you think your starting roster and your starting 22 are. Okay? Woo! All right. As advertised, I've got the depth chart of the Philadelphia Eagles. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask you to do something that scouting services do when you're looking at a prospective team and you're evaluating a team's roster. I've brought this name up to you before. Its name is Bledsoe. Bledsoe is a scouting service that the National Football League has that evaluates pro personnel and college incoming personnel. And these are the sheets that teams take to evaluate for free agency and also for the upcoming NFL draft. And then what they do is they put their own boards together. Okay? There's like 3,000 prospects for college football. They narrow it down to about 500. And then most of the programs in the NFL narrowed it down probably around 300 or low 300s. Then you make your draft board. Same thing with free agency. Who do you think is a top free agent? Who don't you? Age, money, production, all of that. Bledsoe puts a rough draft, so to speak, together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you the same thing here. We're going to go on a scale of 5. And I'm going to ask you what you think your starting roster and your starting 22 are. Okay? Okay? And after that, what we'll do is we'll look at where you are, where you think this roster is. Let's start it on the defense. And I had to determine what kind of front I thought that they would run this year. You guys are okay with me saying this? We're going to put the Eagles in a 43. Okay? Stirring up some controversy, Silz. Zach, you guys are the best. Those idiots on Twitter, I laugh at them. Oh, my God, it's the funniest thing. It's night and day. Intelligent, not intelligent. Twitter, not intelligent. Here, intelligent. Okay? Buffoons, not buffoons. It's mind-numbing. It's mind-numbing. 3-4-3. But, Stephen, we agree the Eagles are going to be in a 43. They'll play 34 most definitely. Israel, they will. But why would I take my front 4 apart when that's where I'm the deepest? I think their linebacking core is probably the best that it's been in recent years, but their front 4, they got rotation guys now. They got some versatility. Why would I put the lesser group in a position to have to defend when you got better D linemen? Here, okay? And this is how Bledsoe does it, the scouting service for the NFL. And I'm going to ask you what you think of your starting 22. Brandon Graham, scale of 1 to 5. By the way, I'm doing this right now. I just put some starters down, and I'm going to have some question marks on some starters here as well. James, Brandon Graham, you guys tell me, scale of 1 to 5. 5 being the best. 3? 3.8? 3.5? 4? I think he's a 3.5. Which is a starter. Okay? That's a starter. 5 is all pro and exceptional. That's the elite of elite, okay? So know that when you throw a 5 or a 4 out, that's a great player. 5 is a Pro Bowler. 3 is a starter, okay? 3.5, I agree. Fletcher Cox. I'm going to play a forefront here, which means I'm going to put Hassan Reddick on the field, and I'll show you how I'm going to do it. Fletcher Cox, 4. You think he's still a 4 player? 3? I think he's a 3-5 guy. He's not a 2-5. He's not. I think Fletcher is a good football player. Okay? Do I think he's a great player? No. Do I think he's a Pro Bowler? No, I do not. Okay? Seth says that BG was a Pro Bowler 2 years ago. Yeah, but those injuries kind of take that out. And if you're evaluating fairly, availability also has to be part of the evaluation here. No, you could tell me how great of a particular, like here, we talk about Jordan Davis all the time. This guy's got great ability, but he hasn't put it on paper yet. As a matter of fact, as much as I wanted to pick, Jordan Davis has not put his production on paper yet. He hasn't. At any time in his stint at Georgia, he's not put it on paper yet. I don't look at his years and go, he was great here. But when you watch him, he shows you moments of brilliance and what he can be. I hate that a little bit, though. I got Fletcher 3.5. Javon Hargrave. By the way, do you know how many players would die to be a 3.5? That's a starter in the league. That means this. These guys can start anywhere in the league. When you start to get 2.5 below 3s, those guys are backups. This is a hard grading system that Bledsoe uses. A friend of mine threw this at me last night. He goes, go down the roster, see where you think this is. By the way, be tough in your grading here. Don't do homerism here. What do you think Hargrave is? Man, Jesus, Rufus, 2.5? Really? Guy making Rufus. So what Rufus is saying here, Hargrave at 2.5 is making $12.7 million. You must think he's shit. Hargrave is making $12.97 million this year. And you give him a 2.5? That's a backup. Oh, man, I don't think so. I think he's a good football player. Okay, so I'm another 3.5. Dude, these are good. First 3 guys, you're talking about starters in anywhere in the league. Could start on any team. Okay? We had 7 sacks last year. The second half of the season, their defensive front played very well. I think they gave the second most or third least amount of points up in the second half of the season. I thought they played well. Okay, it's all good. So you think Hargrave, that's too high for him? 3.5? How about we put a question mark there? We'll come back to that. How about Derek Barnett or Josh Sweat, right defensive end? And by the way, I'm putting him in positions here. I'm going to play Derek Barnett at right defensive end. Now, do you think Josh Sweat wins that battle in camp? Or do you think that Derek Barnett wins it? Okay? Xander says, Rocker needs to be better. Who do you think wins that job there, Derek Barnett or Josh Sweat? I think it's Sweat too. I think it's Sweat. I think Sweat's the better player. I'd evaluate him as a better player. I would. Okay? You should see their depth chart, though. Can I tell you why would Xander say Tracy Rocker? Okay. NovaCare Center. This is your depth chart that's on the wall in your locker room. And they got Derek Barnett and Josh Sweat co-starters. I was like, what? I couldn't believe what I saw. I was like, what? I thought Sweat was a fine player. I thought he was good last year. But they had like both their names in starters. I was like, Jesus, really? This is taken off the wall in the locker room. Don't tell anybody. You're not supposed to know. This is the Eagle depth chart. I got a screenshot sent of it to me last night, and I had to delete it. Okay. Oop. I was told to delete it. Okay. Will linebacker. Kaiser White. I'm not sold on him yet. Couldn't start in Los Angeles. Okay. I'm giving him a 2.5. I think he's a dude right now. I give Josh 3. Middle linebacker, TJ Edwards. 5 being the highest. TJ Edwards. This will be interesting. I don't give people grades on potential. TJ Edwards, you think 3.5? Wow. 3.5? 2.75? That's above being a dude. I like that grade, actually, Manster. I like that 2.75. That keeps him out of the room of being a dude. Strong side linebacker. I'm putting Hassan Reddick here. I'm going to bring him off the corners, which means this, okay? Your strong safety is going to have to play behind him a lot. This is where Jonathan Gannon has to be creative. He's a 6'1", 230-pound guy, okay? And you want to make sure that you're getting the best out of this guy that you possibly can, okay? The best that you possibly can. I'm saying he's a 3.5 too, man. These are pretty good grades for this unit here. I can promise you this. Do you know how many defenses have 5 guys or 5 rated guys on it? Barely any. The Aaron Donalds and the Jalen Ramsey, sure. I don't know if New England has one guy that's a 5 guy. Okay? The defensive tackle for the Giants is probably a 4.5 guy. That Bama kid. What's his name, Xander? The kid who was with the Jets, he's now with the Giants. What's his name? Leonard Williams? Is that his name? That kid can ball, dude. That kid's a good football player. That guy's good, man. He'll shake the change out of you. He engages in you, man. You watch him play on the line of scrimmage. That guy is a good-looking football player. I think he played at Bama. But, yeah, the Giants made a trade for him. They brought him over. That guy shakes the change out of you. Gets his hands engaged on you. Goes down the line of scrimmage. Very active. Very active player. Darius Slay. Five being the best. Darius Slay. We have a paper top 5D. Oh, USC. That's right. Thank you. Thank you, Smile. Right. Southern Cal. You're right. Darius Slay, 3.75. I like that. I think he's right there at that. Had a phenomenal season. It's actually been a really great pickup by Howie Roseman. Okay? Who do you guys think wins the battle between these two guys that are on the Eagle depth chart right now in the locker room? Kayvon Wallace or Epps? Marcus Epps. Who do you think wins that battle there? He ain't a 4'8", dog. Darius Slay is not a 4'8" corner. Ain't crazy. He's good. He ain't that good. 4'8" is Jalen Ramsey. He ain't Jalen Ramsey. That is not happening. So you think Epps beats out Wallace? I don't know. Then again, you know what, guys? They're probably listing it in the locker room like this because it is helmets and shorts. This won't be probably the official depth chart until we get into the July 27th camp. So, I had to think about that just now. It's helmets and shorts, probably why they want them guys to have as many reps as possible. Makes sense right now, right? Okay? Dude, Jalen Hurts was an alternate to the Pro Bowl. Whatever. So Epps wins it. I'm going to say this to you here. That position, your safety position's a 2-5. You got dudes in there right now. Anybody could start there. You really don't have a starter at your strong safety position. Is that fair? You don't really have it. How about free safety? Anthony Harris. I'm going to say it again to you. It's a 2-5. You got it's another guy. Okay? Ray says 4. For Kayvon Wallace or for Darius Slay? I gave him a 3.75. Anthony Harris. He's another dude. Here's an interesting one. James Bradbury. There's no question right now, just looking at your defense. The third level of your infield right now is very weak. Your third level. First level's D-line, second level's linebackers, third level's secondary. The middle of your secondary, very weak. Now, I actually like the kid Epps. Okay? I like the kid Epps. And I'd like to see him get some more playing time. Bradbury's a 3 to me, out of 5, being the best and all-pro. So you don't have one player on here that's a 4. You've got 3 5s, which are starters in the league, which are very promising you this. You got to put this in context. Do you know how many teams don't have this? The Jets are nowhere in your room. The Jags are nowhere in your room. You may have a better defense than the Rams, even with Jalen Ramsey and with Aaron Donald on it. Overall, it's going to be a pretty decent grade here. Okay? 3-5, 3-5, 3-5, 3-0, 2-5. Your linebacking core, I would say this. TJ Edwards, Kaiser White, and your free and strong safety, I'd be concerned about a little bit, and I'd have to coordinate around that. Okay? I'd have to coordinate around that a little bit. Look, I'm going to take a timeout, and I'm going to give you the grade, okay, on what this comes out to. And I'll tell you this. If you're anything over a 3-2, you got a pretty good unit. That's the benchmark. What you don't want to be is down in the 2.75s, because then you just got guys. And you're going to run off the field. There's no 4s, 4 defenses. There's no 5 defenses. There's none. Bledsoe's a very difficult way to grade. Okay? All right? So I'm going to tell you what these are when we come back out of the timeout here. Then we'll do the offense, and we'll go on that side of the ball as well. And we'll throw you a grade. I'm telling you, this is going to come out pretty good for you here. Hit the like button. Keep it right here on the National Football Show.
After a car crash, the big insurance companies you see advertising on TV, they may try to downplay your case and might say it's only a fender bender or it's just a herniated disc. I worry that some law firms fall for this BS. Not us. We put ourselves in your shoes and ask, what would it be like to be in your pain for the rest of our lives? $1 million wouldn't be enough for me. There's only one Morgan & Morgan. ForThePeople.com.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
7 on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Do you stream on a Roku, Fire Stick, Android TV, or Apple TV? Now you can watch 6ABC 24/7 with the 6ABC Philadelphia streaming app.
The big story on Action News.
Search 6ABC Philadelphia and start streaming today.
In Philadelphia, we celebrated the miracle with pride only 5 years ago. And then the following morning, IBEW Local 98 members went back to work, building this city, rescuing our communities from decay, and inspiring the young men and women of the region to take pride in who we are. Like the Cats, Local 98 members believe in hope.
To learn more about who we are, what we do, and career opportunities with Local 98, visit us, IBEW98.org.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass. Free.
What's that?
A rocks glass?
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that. Holy shit.
And you're telling me I can get one of these glasses for free?
That's right. 1 free rocks glass per customer with each first-time purchase of Stateside Vodka. So good, it just disappears.
Welcome back, National Football Show. Your boy Big Silz. Thanks for stepping in with us here. Yeah, man, I tell you what, it's not been a good week for the National Football League when it comes to being in a courtroom. All right, I mean, John Gruden won his case to at least have it heard. NFL wanted to have it thrown out. John Gruden said that the commissioner of the league and other owners went after him. And when they found out that there were racist emails that were being sent back and forth from Bruce Allen, the president of Washington, and the other emails that were going across other general managers' servers, the league turned it on John Gruden. So what does this mean? Boy, I wouldn't want to be part of those chains with Bruce Allen. Holy cow. Okay, so are we going to see correspondence now being made public? This is what John Gruden wants. He's going to show you that the way that these executives talk about black players, okay, is not uncommon to how he talked about them compared to some of the executives. You think the NFL wants this zipper down? Absolutely not. So John Gruden now has won the ability to have his case heard. So what do you think John Gruden's going to do? Every single head coach, position coach, agent that he has ever had conversation with who may have said something, I'll use the term off color, is going to be out there publicly. Woo-hoo! Do I hear settlement? Do I hear settlement? Do I hear settlement for John Gruden? And if John Gruden gets a settlement, I'd hire that guy. Because what you're saying is, he ain't the only guy in the league that talks like that about people. Okay? He ain't the only guy. Your whole league talks like that. Woo-wee! We're going to start to see some shit with some of these emails. By the way, would you guys like me to post an email that I got from John Gruden and Bruce Allen? I won't, because it makes me look bad that I received it. I'm going to send it to No, Xander, I'm not going to do that to you either, because you shouldn't have that on your server either. Here, I'll do something right now. I'm not going to show anybody anything. But I'm going to show you something here. Just so you know that, because some people, if you go over to Twitter, okay, if you go over to Twitter, what they'll do is they'll go like this. Sileo's just lying again. Okay? I'll show you something here. Oh, God, you're going to love this. Bruce Allen. Let me see if I still have some of them emails. Let's see if they can bring some of these emails up. Holy cow, can you imagine Jerry? I never thought about Jerry Jones's emails. Oh, my God. 2. Let's do this. Oh my God. Let's do that. Let's do Bruce Allen again. Bruce Allen. I've known Bruce Allen for 35 years. For 35, excuse me. I've known Bruce Allen for 45 years. Search old emails. Here we go. Here we go. I'm thinking now, you know what we're going to do? We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that because those are private correspondence. But I got a ton of email. By the way, I got Bruce Allen and John Gruden talking to the CEO of Hooters, Ed Drotsky, who's a friend of mine. John Gruden worked for Hooters too. Whew. Send it to me. Yeah, Chris, that'll help. Yeah. No, yeah, his brother, I think, was the governor of Virginia. Okay? I think he was the governor. Either a governor or senator. I think his brother, that's his brother. His brother's the governor of Virginia. I used to get Christmas cards every year from him. Yeah, E. Can you imagine Jerry going, yeah, man, my boys are all good. Yeah, you want that out there? John Gruden. And then here's this other one. Here's this other one here. I was told today that the NFL has to take $7.5 million from all 32 teams, including your Eagles, to pay the city of St. Louis $232.5 million because they illegally moved the Rams from St. Louis back to Los Angeles. So Stan Kroenke paid $800 million to move the team in relocation fees. Now he's got to pay an additional $8 million on that thing and the lawyer fees. Because they got their ass kicked and they caught their hand caught in the cookie jar. How you doing? Man, not a good week for the NFL. Not a good week. All right, I got your grade on defense. Pretty good, man. Pretty good. You guys just don't have dudes. You guys got a 3-2-6. Freaking great. That defense, in my opinion, a 3-2-6, you're not going to see a lot more versatility in the league than something. Look, most teams defensively are going to hang around 3-2-7, somewhere in there, because they don't have pieces like you guys have. Okay? This football, with a 3-2-6, you guys should have this defense. Hey, by the way, do me a favor. Tell me where they were ranked defensively last year. Okay? Gaming, he was doing blackface jokes in college. Why would people do that? That's so dumb. And now I love the guys who have done the blackface jokes going, oh, I didn't mean it. And they get a pass for it, you know? I misspeak and everyone's like, oh, Sileo, this and that. And you're like, these guys did skits like Jimmy Kimmel. They did skits. That means they talked to a producer and thought it through. I made dumb comments off the cuff. These guys sat down with, it'd be like me sitting down with Xander going like this. Look, you know, I think we should do a racist segment here. You know, I think what do you think? How do you think we can stir? I mean, that's what those guys did. That's what those guys did. Okay? Right? That's right. That's what's in. So like Stern and Kimmel and Fallon and all those guys, they invested big production money into those skits. They thought that was funny. I did something dumb, but they went like this and they ran it by my producer like Xander's. And the producer goes, this is funny. And you're like, oh yeah. How about when what was the guy who used to do the Tonight Show? What was his name? Jay Leno. He'd open up the show every day doing an Asian joke. You're like, that's not funny. I used to say that. That's not funny. And he used to open up his show every night with an Asian joke. And you're like, how is that funny when you live in a predominantly Asian community in Los Angeles? How's that funny? Oh, because Stern did it? Oh, that's not funny. Anyway, your defense. Really a good look. So the defense, the defense was 19th, 20. This defense should be, in my opinion, I think you should be between 13 and 15. You think it's top 5, E? See, here's my problem with your defense, though, okay? Your linebacking core is not really a highly rated core. And your free and strong are poor. Good quarterbacks are going to exploit that. But then again, we talked about that yesterday. The best quarterback you're going to play that's on your schedule is going to be in week 12. And that's going to be Rodgers. He'll pick that apart, depending on his wideouts, though, right? The second best quarterback will be Cousins in week 2. And believe it or not, I would say your third best quarterback that you're going to play is Dak. I think you're going to get away with it because the only quarterback that can exploit, I think Cousins with Justin Jefferson and Thielen are going to be able to make some space in the secondary because of the linebackers and because of the free and strong. But everybody else on this schedule, I do not think Dak Prescott's going to exploit that. By the way, do you see how they're just absolutely going off that CeeDee Lamb now? Here's the new media thing. Well, now it's CeeDee Lamb's team. And you're like, CeeDee Lamb? I think he's decent, right? Vikings botched the draft was their problem. I think they needed more help on defense. And they needed to do a little more in the draft on defense. Or in free agency, I should say, on defense. Okay? To me, they're a one-dimensional team. They're very good offensively. I think they're they're nowhere in your room. So again, I think you guys have a very, very good rated defense. And if you're Howie, man, and you come up and you're in the threes, the mid threes like that, you got a hell of like here. Look, I don't think you guys are seeing, and maybe I'm not setting what the gauge is. Man, there's no football team in the league out of 5. There's no football team in the NFL with a 4 defense, top to bottom. There's none. Okay, there's none. So when I say this, you're like, it's not really, it sounds like a C average. Hey, collecting players in today's NFL because of the salary cap is impossible. You can't look how hard it was to keep the 17 roster together. Look how hard it's been for the Bucks. Quarterbacks got to take haircuts to keep those guys in the building in Tampa. It ain't that easy, man. It ain't like the old days where you could just sign a guy to a 5-year contract and you got that guy's ass for 5 years. Chargers, that's a good one. Okay? That's a good one. I'm gonna have to do those guys tonight and take a look at that. Because the Chargers look like, I'll tell you what, the 49ers may have a pretty good one too. All right, so let's go over to your offense. Your offense is going to be higher ranked. What would you give Lane Johnson? Whew. Big, physical. And then what we're going to do is we're going to grade the whole roster. And I'll show you how good you are and why I'm picking you to win the NFC. Man, Lane is good, man. He is a 4, man. He is a 4, a bona fide 4. Man, that guy's a good football player. Isaac Seumalo. This is a tough grade here because we're going to be doing most of this. No sacks last year, Jax, really? God dang. Man, that may have moved that thing up to a 4.2. I'm going to go 4.2. No sacks, really? He didn't give a sack up last year? Shit. Yeah, the Bills will be a good one to look at too, Chris. Right. Right out of the gate, a 4.2 in your right tackle. We're not even at the left tackle yet. Holy shit. Seumalo, 3. I think we have to go 3 because we haven't seen him collectively in games. 4, 5, 6, 7. My opinion, from what people are saying, Barrett Brooks tells me too, on what Stoutland thinks of him, that number's going to improve if he's able to be consistent in there. You can't give the right tackle, man, starting it out. Your old line is going to be fucking graded. Excuse me. Sorry about that, Aunt Betty, but this is really going to be impressive here. So I'm going to go 3, and I'm doing it 3 reluctantly because I think this kid, from what I'm hearing, they're going to really be really high on him. Jason Kelce. He's in his final year. What could you possibly give a future Hall of Famer? Wow. I'm looking down the list of your old line. Which king? Dude, you guys are giving me goosebumps here. Shit. You may have a 5. God, I don't give them out like that. I don't think I've given a 5 out on an evaluation of a Bledsoe evaluation. I don't think I've done that in 7 years. Rufus, you think he's a 3.75? The backup is probably a 3.75. He is, man. You know what's funny? Last year, I didn't know this guy. Well, I did, but not like this. I can't give him a 5. I'm going to go 4.75. That's like the highest grade I've given a center, I think, ever. How about them Canes getting Alonzo Highsmith all over that? Landon Dickerson. K Powers, I love that, baby. Absolutely. So your right tackle is a 4. Sayamalo's a 3 only because he hasn't played. Your center's a 4.75, the highest grade I've given a center like maybe ever. Landon Dickerson, what do you think? I thought he played good. $3.74. That's pretty high. He's not a 4. I don't think so. Lane said today on Sports Take that Landon is a monster. Yeah, it's easy to say that in helmets and shorts. But if we're talking size-wise, that whole line is enormous. Hey, dude, let's just say this. If you had to pick up the dinner bill for these dudes, I think you might be in a poorhouse. Hey, get this. Big Joe Krause have to break out the black Amex. Hey, Xander, I think the Platinum Amex may have to come out here, right? Either the black Amex or the Platinum Amex. Big Joe would have to get them big cards out there, man, for these dudes. Woo, baby. Talking about some beef in the room. These guys, man. 16-ounce steaks. Shit, these guys are whacking 2 apiece, man. The alcohol bill alone, man. Holy cow. You talk about some horses, man. I'll tell you this, too. Philadelphia Eagles, defensively, offensively, they have to be the biggest team in the league. I mean, like when you get buses to go from stadium to stadium when they're on the road, I mean, you guys are going to have to get like U-Hauls to move these dudes around. Or you know those big like construction trucks with those big-ass tires on them? How do you move these guys around? You think these guys could sit in normal seats? How do you fly them around? You got to fly them like in one of those ones that they pick up like the Army guys. There's like 70 Army guys on the plane, right? I mean, how do you fly these guys around, man? You think these guys' asses are sitting in like Southwest airline chairs? I don't think so. Southwest would go like this. I don't think we're going to have room for you. We have to put your asses in the cargo. Yeah, you're going to have to get cargo planes. Is that the Eagle plane? What is that? Holy cow. Look at that. Look at that cargo plane. It's the Eagles. They're coming into town. Dude, these guys go off the bus, man. Just shit. You're going to be going like this. Okay, Mulata, Lane, Fletch, Landon. Oh, Jordan Davis. There's some brothers. Whoo! You'd be like this. These boys are big. Hey, Chris, check the tires. Shit, man, you may have to get a Fred Flintstone bus. You know the ones with stone wheels? Yeah, you driving. Is that the Fred Flintstone car? Yeah. Why? Well, they flatten the tires every time these guys get in the car, man. Yeah. Hey, wait. You know what? How they're gonna move the Eagles? You see them trains that got like 18 locomotives on them. They got all the cars behind them. What's that behind them? It's Lane. It's Mulata. It's Jordan Davis. Shit, you better not be under 300 pounds on this ball team. These boys are big, man. Woo! Landon Dickerson, what do we say him? I'm going to give – I thought Landon really played well last year. I'm going to give him a 3.7. I'm going to give him a 3.5. So you got a 4.2 for Lane. Sayamalo is a 3. Jason Kelsey's a 4.75. Landon Dickerson's a 3.5. What now for Jordan Mulata, who's also an enormous dude, 6'8". And, bro, I'll tell you, if he felt like carrying 400 pounds, I think he could and look good doing it. Okay? I think he can look good doing it. He can move. I mean, 375, Jordan Mailata. I think he'd be all right. 3'9", Mailata 4. I think Malata's a 4, man. He did pancake him. I watched it 4 times. And Cameron Jordan is a beast. And he pancaked him. Oh, man. I don't think he's not a 4.7, but he's a 4 for sure, man. Look at that line. He's a 4. 4, 3.5, 4.75, 3, 4.2. It's got to be the best O-line in football. It's got to be. Okay? There's got to be the best O-line. Dude, these are big dudes. Man, hey, that's the best unit, my grade. I'm trying to think of another unit that I would give these grades out to. They're better than the Rams. They're better than the Packers. They're better than the Chiefs. They're better than the Broncos. I'm naming all the contenders. They're better than the Steelers. Better than the Bucks. Bucks are pretty good, though. Whew. Man, I think they're better than the Colts. Browns are good, too. That's a hell of a group. What do you think, Dallas Goedert? This will be interesting. Dallas Goedert. Yeah, man. Jeff Stoutland. He's developed all of this, hasn't he? Do me a favor. We're up against the clock here. Hold your thoughts. We're going to get now into the skilled positions. Okay, 3, I think that's fair. Too many drops. 3, this is going to be interesting to see your skilled guys compared to what your O-line guys. And then we'll pick it up in hour number 3. Jason Cole will be at the bottom of the 5:30 hour, or third hour, 5:30 Eastern. And we're going to talk NFC East with him. Just so you know, please hit the like button. We'll pick up the offense. Then we'll give a total grade for the roster. You're starting 22. Okay? We'll do that next. I appreciate everybody being here. Hit the like button. Hour 3 coming up. Keep it right here on the National Football.